Hello all. In this video, we'll be discussing about Leetcode problem number 238, that is product of array except self. So here you are given an integer array nums. You have to return an array answer such that answer I is equal to product of all elements of nums except nums I. So say for example you are given a nums array 4, 5, 1, 8, 2. So here you have to calculate the product of all elements except the product of ith element. So say for example for ith position, that is 0, 80 is there. This means you have ignored 4 but you have calculated the product of all other elements in this. Similarly, for this index, you have ignored 5 and you have calculated the product of all other elements and you have kept it at this position. And similarly, you go on for all other elements. So a simplest approach for this can be, you can just declare a variable p where you can first calculate the product of all elements, 4 into 5 into 1 into 8 into 2. So you can store that in this variable, and within one pass what you can do is you can divide this variable by respective ith element and you will obtain the final answer. So that seems to be quite simple approach, but if you can have a look at the question again, then it is saying that you cannot use division operator, whereas in this approach we have used the division approach, so this cannot be the valid solution for this answer, for this question. So we can have a look on the another approach, that based on the observation we can just calculate the product of all the left elements in one pass and all the right elements in one pass, and then we can further uh, multiply them and get the output. So let's see how we can do it. So I'll declare two arrays, left and right. So for the first one, what I'll do is the initial index will be having the value of 1, and then what I'll be doing is I'll be multiplying the corresponding ith nums element and left element, and then I'll be placing it at I plus worst position. So for example, for this 4 into 1 is 4, so I'll be keeping at it here. For next again, what I'll be doing, 5 into 4, that is 20, I'll be keeping at I plus first position. Once again 20 into 1, I'll be again keeping at I plus first position, and then it will be 8 into 20, so 160 will be placed at last position. So this gives me in one pass the product of all the left elements. Similarly, for right elements, I'll be starting from the back and I'll be initializing the last index with 1 again, and I'll be again doing the same thing. 2 into 1 as 2. Now I'll be again multiplying 2 into 8 as 16. I'll be placing it at I minus 1 index here. 16 into 1 is 16. 16 into 5 is 80. So I'll be getting the product of all the left elements and all the right elements in two different arrays. So now what I'll be doing is I'll be multiplying them further. 160 into 1 is 160. 20 into 2 is 40. 20 into 16 is 320. Further 4 into 16 is 64 and 80 into 1 is 80, which is actually the desired output. The only observation or the logic behind this is we have to calculate the product of all the left elements in one pass and all the right elements in the another pass. However, since we have initialized two different arrays and we have kept our answer in the third array, we can further optimize it by using only one answer array, and we can generate this entire output. So let's see how we can do this in the last approach. So first of all, we have to generate the answer array and we have to calculate the left elements product as before. So I'll be again initializing it at 1. Then I'll be calculating 4 into 1 as 4, 4 into 5 as 20, 20 into 1 as 20, and 20 into 8 as 160. So this was the first approach which I have already followed in the earlier also. So here you have got this. Now I'll be starting with R as 1 and I'll be starting from the backend only. Okay. So after once I am done with the multiplication, I'll be doing this, that I'll be multiplying r with num I. Okay, so what I'll be doing now, I'll be calculating the product. 1 into 160 is 160, so I'll be writing it in the answer array itself. Then I'll be multiplying it by the corresponding number, and r will be updated to 2 for this iteration. Okay, so again I'll be doing 20 into 4 gives me 40. I'll be overwriting that, and further I'll be now doing r into num of I, that is 8, which gives me 16 for another iteration. Now I'll be multiplying this again. 16 into 20 gives me 320. Now I'll be updating the r as per the equation. Then again I'll be getting 16 for it. For the next iteration, I'll be multiplying it and I'll be updating the value as 64. I'll be further updating r and I'll be getting 80. I'll be multiplying it and I'll be overwriting it. And if you can have a look, then we have got the actual answer within one array. So the time complexity for this is O of n, whereas the space complexity, since in the question they have allowed us to use an answer array x, the external array. So as of now, I can just say that within this answer array, I can calculate the entire product. So with respect to that, since they have allowed me to use the output array, no extra space was used. So I can just say that I have used O1 space apart from answer. Otherwise, if they have might be they have not allowed us for using the answer array, then we can say at that instance that our space complexity can be O of n. However, since in this case they have allowed, so I can just say that my space complexity is O1 and time complexity is On. So now let's have a look at the code. See, I have first calculated the length, then we have generated a new array of answer. Then in this we have calculated the left pass, that is product of all the left elements. And then in the next we are updating the product, and also we are updating the r, that is right elements. So we are updating that further, and finally we are returning the answer in this case. So that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day.